Pardon the clickbait title and thumbnail, but if you're unaware of pseudo-Saturn cartridges, you need to see how easy it is to play burned discs on your Sega Saturn without any hardware modding. Unleash the power of your Sega Saturn with this easy-to-use cartridge. Just plug it into your Sega Saturn's cartridge port and you'll be able to play backups of every Sega Saturn game, as well as import titles and games that require extra RAM. Free Saturn is already flashed with firmware that will allow you to play the Sega Saturn games that you might have missed or want to experience all over again. Free your Sega Saturn. That's what the back of the box says, and I'm going to show you that it works and how to burn these discs. The first test and demonstration I'm going to do is making a backup of an original copy that I own of A Stall. We see I've put the game disc in my drive, and using alcohol 120% using the image making wizard, I can turn this disc into a file on my PC. I'm using the default settings and format. It's created an MDS file, which is fine. Using the image burning wizard, I can browse to find that MDS file and click next. I've read that it's best to burn on slowest speed possible, but I've also read that doesn't matter. I've compromised and just picked a lower than middle option. Everything has been completed, and now I have a homemade backup of A Stall. But what if you've obtained a disk image ISO or Q file online and it's not your personal backup? Here we see me doing the exact same thing, but with that different file type. You don't have to do anything different. Now I've created backup discs of A Stall and House of the Dead, but will they work with this free Saturn cartridge? Alright, so now I'm cutting to a live video. I'm recording through my camera, so pardon the drop in quality. You can see my Sega Saturn is set up here, and the first test, broken case of course, is proper disc A Stall. No cartridge in the Saturn. I have never opened up my Saturn and done any modding of any kind. So let's just confirm that the game I burned actually does work. While this is booting up, I'm going to go over my my testing stuff here. Of course, as you just saw, I have regular install. I also have my House of the Dead backup that I did, the stall backup that I did. We've got the free Saturn cartridge, whose case doesn't appreciate glare one bit. And as we can see, A Stall is starting up. Unfortunately, my TV doesn't have a forced 4:3 mode, so I do play my games in widescreen. The videos, of course, are edited, and the stream is also smooshed on the fly to make sure it all works. Let's just start up the game real quick. Just some proper proof that this is running. This is all original hardware, of course. This is a proper controller. Well, actually, it's an old school brand controller. And here we go. The game's running. That's me playing it right now. Doo-doo-doo. It's all good, right? All right, so we know that game works. Now let's move on. What I'm going to do next is take the backup of A Stall that you saw me make. As we can see, that is a burnt disc. I'm using a Verbatim brand because I hear they're pretty useful, and they're also one of the easier ones to find. Okay, there's my A Stall disc. Let's take that out and pop in the burnt A Stall disc and hit that play button. Yes, I am aware that the cartridge is not plugged in yet. This is just to prove that the disc does not work without it. Look, we're seeing it's checking disc format. It's a little confused. It's trying to play it as a music CD. Now we know. Let's turn this back off again. Now I'm going to plug the free Saturn cartridge into the back. Why don't we try that once again? The another testing thing I have while this is booting up is I have a Japanese game. Once again, it is obvious that my console has not been modded, now that I have demonstrated that. Right now we have the pseudo Saturn boot menu. I'm just going to press A to start game. It's going to flash some mystery text at me. And now let's just wait and see. Let's see it boot up. Yep, I can hear the sound effects. There's the opening video. It's already starting up. This is, can't make it more obvious than this, that it is not faked. I'll start up the game again. And look, it runs just fine. So, there's proof it works. So I guess the next test would be the House of the Dead disc. As this was burned from something I found online. I did not personally make this disc, as I had demonstrated in that capture I did on my PC. So let's pop that in. This completely foreign file that I had nothing to do with. The first time I tested this, actually, when that text popped up, it told me that there was a read error, and I thought, oh no, I must have fucked up somehow. But then I just tried it again, and it worked just fine. And as we're seeing right now, it didn't even do that for me this time. There's House of the Dead. We're starting it up. Let's just go straight to arcade mode. And there we go. The Saturn version of House of the Dead in all of its ugly, poorly running glory. I did not make a backup of this myself. Oh, I guess it wants me to play a bit. There we go. What more proof do you need? Alright, so next up, I actually haven't tested this off camera, so this will be a treat for me to learn. This is a Japanese Sega Saturn game. It is the Digimon game on Sega Saturn. This is obviously a Japanese disc, and this is obviously a North American console. So I'm not going to bother unplugging the cartridge to show you that it will not work in this console. Because, I mean, if you're already watching this video, you should damn well know that a Japanese game will not run in this console. I don't have anything at the anything at the back that switches the region or anything. And look, it's starting up Bandai. This game is very Japanese, and I've played this once before. If you want to check out that video, please do. Of me just bumbling around. I did play it in an emulator at that time. But here it is, working just fine. So as you can see, I simply plug this cartridge in and backups just work. Unfortunately, it does not have the cheats and saving features of the Action Replay, but with a functioning battery in your console, you can just restart your Saturn and transfer saves from the system to a cartridge memory afterwards. I bought this from Aaron's Vintage Games on Etsy. There are different pseudo-Saturn cartridges available around the net to suit various needs, but this one suits me just fine since I'm a collector of originals anyways, and just want to try some of the more rare and expensive games for videos before dropping the big money. You will also need a cartridge like this to play reproduction copies if that's a scene you want to get into. I've also played a fan translation patched Japanese ISO using this cartridge. I didn't demonstrate that working because the videos of me playing it are out right now. So check out those Linkle Live Story videos, and please stay tuned for more Saturn videos. I do a variety of games, new and old, on my channel, so check it out, and I hope you find something you like. Thanks for watching.